Good morning, everyone. What if I say we are not like the others? This is what Jeep is all about. Because after over 80 years, we remain firmly aligned with Jeep's founding values: passion, freedom, adventure, authenticity. And this is what makes Jeep unique, because very few brands in the industry are driven by the same values worldwide, and even fewer remain true to their founding values. Jeep is a brand like no other, constantly introducing game-changing innovations along its entire history. Look at our ancestor, the Jeep Willys. And look now at the Avenger, which came right away from this history of disruptive innovation by bringing into the BSUV segment a unique combination of capability, style, functionality, and technology, representing an alternative well away from traditional players in the segment. It was an instant success. With the new Compass, we raised the bar in the CSUV segment, boasting more capability, more comfort, and more connectivity than ever, all blended with iconic design and cutting-edge technology, while Wagoneer S redefines the concept of executive driving, offering style, speed, sophistication, combined with outstanding 4xe all-terrain capability. And Recon. With Recon, you will that you saw today for the first time, we have taken distinctiveness even further by bringing true off-road capability and Jeep open-air freedom in a vehicle that is as well perfect for urban driving and for family time. All these achievements stem from the application of a key concept that marks the Jeep difference, our unique, never-changing recipe, to ensure that every Jeep embodies capability, robustness, safety, attitude, and versatility. Cars designed for the outdoor, but everyday capable, no matter where we are driving. So, I believe it's now time to take a step back and focus ourselves on the star of the day with some valuable and interesting product inside on the new Compass. So, Daniele, Marco, the floor is all yours, and thank you very much again for being here. Thank you.
Thanks to be here.
So, Jeep has a story of 84 years of adaptation, starting from the Willys through the CJ2, our first civilian model, up to today's range. And these 84 years of evolution have been driven from the beginning by clear and consistent values, the Jeep values: freedom, adventure, authenticity, and passion. 4 timeless values that translates into product features as well on all the Jeeps, designed to function. Every line, every detail is there to add function to our customer. Durability. Jeeps are fully protected and adopt the right material in the right place to reduce the wear. Versatility. Jeeps are made to adapt to all types of usage. And obviously, the capability, as Jeeps can tackle the hardest off-road obstacle, but also any difficulty you might encounter in your everyday routine.
So Marco just told us the history, the huge history of Jeep, and we can say the same thing about Compass. As you can see here, we have behind our shoulder 19 years of history, 2 models, 2 facelifts, and today we are going to uncover the 3rd generation. So when we started this program many years ago, we took one of our claims as an inspiration: we don't make Jeep, you do. So actually we did many different clinics all around the world, North America, Europe, to understand what customer, but especially rejector, would like to have from the new Compass. We did many information, we get many information, and one of the most important was, please give us more space inside. So this project started inside out. The second pillar was to work with a vehicle ready to be electrified, and then a new iconic design, something more linked with the history of Jeep from the functional and design point of view.
So let's start seeing how we got there, starting from our first project goal: an efficient packaging. The new Compass is good everywhere: in the road, in city centers, in highway and off-road tracks. It combines lifestyle with a timeless design, and it's made for 24/7 use in commuting, sports, on-road and off-road trips, and it's built to last. And to achieve all of this, we took a modular approach aimed at giving the right answer to each of our customers. And our work starts from the cutting-edge Stellantis Stella Medium platform. a platform designed to accommodate any propulsion solution, BEV, plug-in hybrid, and hybrid, and has been specifically tailored to support electrification in the C and D segment. But then in the Compass case, the Stella Medium has been tuned to offer a particularly space-efficient formula. While offering remarkable interior space and versatility, the new Compass is one of the most compact vehicles, and of course the most capable, coming out from this platform.
So how we managed the platform with the request to have more space inside. So as you can see here, you already tested the car and you notice that the new Compass is slightly bigger than the previous one. It's 150 mils longer, 85 mils wider. And this is the trick that we use with a longer wheelbase. So actually the 150 mils of major length that we have today is given by the wheelbase. Why I told this is a trick? Because with a longer wheelbase we'll be able to give 20 mils of improving legroom, 45 liters of liters more on the trunk, reaching the 550 liters on the back. And we'll have 20 mils more of shoulder room and 10 mils more of headroom in comparison with the previous one. But we didn't focus only on the rear storage. Actually, we worked a lot on the front storage. So the previous Compass was able to give us only 14 liters of frontal storage. With the new one, we digged every single surface in the IP, door panel, center console, to have a lot of storage. And as you can see here, we have more than the double of the storage that we had on the previous one, 34 liters of frontal storage. We didn't focus only on the storage, but also on the flexibility on the interior. So again, the previous Compass was able to have only 40-60 rear seat split. On the new one, we are working with a 40-20-40. Again, flexibility means to meet the request of our most active customer. But this is more important. When we start with every Jeep project, we start to talk with our engineering team to have the most efficient package. What means efficient? It means to have a lot of space inside with the most compact possible volume outside. And how we achieve this? Having the shortest overhang possible on every package we manage. Not only, we asked to have, for sure, you can imagine, the biggest overall diameter tire available on this platform, guaranteeing to our customer the higher ground clearance possible. So, if we put everything together, we'll have the perfect recipe for a Jeep. Big tire, high ground clearance, short overhang, so they are going to give us the optimized technical angle, front, breakover, and departure angle.
Let's move now to the second chapter of our story that is related to the aerodynamic efficiency. That is a crucial factor when it comes to electrification. Of course, we wanted to achieve this without compromising the versatility, the practicality, and the roominess of the vehicle. So the entire cross-functional team worked passionately to fine-tune every detail on the car. And the drag efficiency level on the new Compass is an outstanding result in its category. All in all, we managed to reach 10% higher aero efficiency over the previous generation.
So now you have to imagine the design team and engineering team that were asked to have a boxy and spacious interior, but with a long range. So actually that was the biggest challenge we had on this project. So how we worked from the design project point of view. We optimized the angle of the front cabin, we fully covered the front wheel, and we closed the 7 slot. Actually, this is a trick that we already used on the Avenger or many other global Jeep all around the world. Because right now with the new packages or the new engine packages, the radiator are much more compact, so we can concentrate the radiator in the lower part. So it's useless to open up the upper part of the bumper. In this way, we'll have a better aerodynamic effect. We'll have also an aesthetic active bridge shutter that will open or close in consideration of the condition of the vehicle, the speed, and also the heat of the engine, optimizing the aerodynamic. And if you see the car from the side view, in general, you cannot see perfectly this section because it's hidden by the roof rail. We accelerated the central section after the V-pillar, giving the perfect aerodynamic performance. We'll have also something really important from the aerodynamic point of view, real air curtains in the front, and what I used to call the cherry on the cake of the aerodynamic of this vehicle. So taking inspiration from the racing car, we decided to open the rear cladding. So this is a real outlet that will allow us to decrease the pressure of the rear fender. Everything coupled with this hard design edge that we have on the tail of the vehicle that permit us to detach the aeroflux as far as possible from the body of the vehicle. So with all these things together, we will be able to reach a CX of 0.29 and a range of 650 kilometers for the electric vehicle.
But then efficiency depends from a lot of factors, and the powertrain is obviously a crucial one. The new Compass gives to our customer maximum freedom of choice. They can pick the powertrain solution that best suited to their travel patterns and routes. So the new Compass lineup comprises an e-hybrid at 145 horsepower, a 195 horsepower e-hybrid plug-in, and 3 BV versions, 213 horsepower and 231 horsepower front-wheel drive, and a 375 horsepower all-wheel drive. To achieve this impressive power output that is a Jeep exclusive on the platform, we have introduced a new, more powerful rear electric motor that provides additional 49 kilowatt of peak power compared to what was available on the platform setup, and up to 232 Newton meters of torque. By coupling this with a 14:1 rear reducer, we have achieved an impressive 3,100 Newton meters available at rear wheels. This gives us maximum traction in the most challenging situation, with the ability to climb up to 20% slope, even with zero traction on the front wheels. Then, onboard charger up to 22 kilowatt and a standard 160 kilowatt fast charging solution allows charging from 20 to 80% in just 30 minutes. Let's move now to the third chapter, that is about the design to function. That is a cornerstone of how we define every Jeep. Design to function is meant to provide customer with unique versatility and practicality, as well as extra protection also in everyday use. So let's explore with Daniele the new Compass 360-degree zone.
So what means for us 360 Soul has many different meanings. The first one, and are all connected with the functionality. So as you remember, when we launched the Avenger, we introduced the Avenger with the C floating pillar on the rear. That is a feature that is coming from the previous Compass, Grand Cherokee, Grand Wagoneer, and so on. But as I said, when we started this project, we focused on the functionality. So we said, why not to remove the C-pillar to give a big window to the customer so they will have more light inside and they will have more visibility while driving the vehicle. On the roof, we'll have a sunroof that is 7,700 centimeters square of connection with the exterior. So that is something that every Jeep deserves. But when we talk about 360, that means for us one of the most important topics, protection. So as you can see here, we have a robust and thick cladding all around the lower part of the body to prevent any scratches, but with the right section in the right place. What means, for example, the rear reflector, the front fog light are encased to avoid any scratch in case of bumps. Or the outermost section of the door is exactly the cladding. So you can open your door, close a tree, close an obstacle, close another vehicle without scratching the paint. And not only, because all the aluminum inserts, front, side, and back are molding color. So we are going to save paint, but molding color allows us to have scratch without seeing the effect of the scratch in the future. And let me give you another personal example. I am an active guy, I am a biker. I always used to put my bicycle in the back of my cars. If you use a normal car, you are going to scratch the bumps with the pedals. So as the Renegade, as the Avenger, the Wrangler, we decided to have a black molding color rear bumper till the height of the seal to avoid any scratches in case of active customer.
Last but most important, when you design a Jeep the Jeep way, the capability is ingrained into the process. And we are not talking only about the 4x4 model. Capability on the new Compass is built into its functional design and therefore extended across the range, including the front-wheel drive versions. So the new Compass can handle the most rugged terrain with a ground clearance of 200 millimeters, an approach angle at 20 degrees, a departure angle at 26 degrees, and a water folding level up to 470 millimeters. The selector range is standard on all the versions, as it is the 360-degree protection that Daniele just explained. Then, we have a new suspension tuning with dedicated springs, dampers, and anti-roll bars that grants a perfect balance between off-road capability and a seamless daily usability. And the all-wheel drive version will be even more capable and is specifically designed for off-road adventures and therefore is even more capable, not only thanks to the 375 horsepower powertrain we've seen before.
So we had a long discussion about functionality, right? But on the overland 4xe, we are going to enhance all the functionality of the new Compass. So as you can see here, this is the front-wheel drive. On the 4x4, we will have a higher ground clearance. The higher ground clearance gives us the possibility to have better angle, 31 degrees of departure angle, 16 degrees of breakover angle, and 27 degrees of approach angle. How we did it? With a new design of the black lower fascia for the front and rear bumper. And as you can see here, we'll have always aluminum molding color insert, removing all the useless material that you don't need in the off-road use. We'll have, as I said, 10 mils more of a rising suspension, and we designed also a special wheel of 19-inch that will permit us to mount on this platform the highest tire shoulder that will be able to handle in the best way the off-road trails. And another cherry on the cake of this project. So this is the Jeep shield. As you saw in the real model, the front bumper is divided in 3 different pieces. And the center one is what we call the Jeep shield, because you can paint in body color for the front wheel drive, but will be painted in black anti-scratch finishing for the 4x4. So this is not only a functional, let me say, offer for our customer, but this is also a link with the history. This is how the Jeeper used to paint the front end of the vehicle to avoid any scratches when they are going to use their vehicle in the bush. We'll have the usual anti-reflective glow sticker that will prevent any glares of sun when you're driving in front of the sun. And better stay safe when you are in the outdoor with your friends. We'll have a rear tow hooks that will help you or your friends to be unstuck by difficult situations. Heavy-duty rubber mat that will prevent any damage on the floor, and a heavy-duty material on seats. So actually, this is the material that we introduced on the Avenger 4xe. It is a fabric injected with polyurethane that gives 2 pros. The first one, more robustness. So we are talking about the double robustness in comparison with every fabric today present in the automotive market. And second, fully washable. And then we introduced also this extra black shield on the back of the front seats. So probably you have kids, you have pets, and they are human beings designed to destroy the back of the seat. So actually the idea was to really protect the back of the front seats and to give also an extra storage thanks to the model system that you see here in the image.
So we are at the end. This is the new Compass in a nutshell. A unique and iconic SUV because we are not like the others, because we are Jeep and we never surrender. We will now leave the floor to Fabio, who will detail the new Compass content rich and the flexible proposition to the market. And I hope you enjoy your test drive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Daniele and Marco, for the introduction. So let me start by reminding what Daniele mentioned at the beginning. So this car will be the 3rd generation of a Compass, so a nameplate which started back almost 20 years ago. It sold 2.5 million units globally. So we leverage on that success for the new generation. This new generation will be a global project, so we are really proud to say that the car has been designed, has been engineered, and will be produced in Europe for the European customers. There are also plans, by the way, to expand even more the reach, because the Melfi plant will serve 60 countries worldwide, and there is plan also to expand even further using different production facilities that we have in Stellantis. When designing the Compass, we had clear in mind which are our customers. So we know they are active people, they are dynamic, they usually have a family. So they are really looking for a 360-degree companion, which is kind of able to take on their everyday adventure. So we believe that with Compass, we are really giving them a product offering which is able to satisfy those needs. Now, going a bit more into the detail of how the range is built. So first, as Marco mentioned, 3 different energy, the hybrid, plug-in, and full electric, which will allow us to cover 90%, so the vast majority of the CSUV segment in the next years. There is also a sort of complementarity in terms of performances. So the hybrid 145 horsepower, plug-in 195, and the BEV with the 2 different powers and the 2 different EV ranges, 500 and 650, and we have, of course, which is the pinnacle of our range, the all-wheel drive with 375 horsepower and 600 kilometers of range. We know that we live in a world which is very complex, information is coming very fast, so we wanted to build a range and a customer journey which is as lean, as straightforward as possible for our customers. So as you can see, for the different traction, front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, we will have 2 different trims, Altitude and Summit for the front-wheel drive, Upland, Overland for the all-wheel drive. The front-wheel drive, all engines available, all-wheel drive with full electric. Then for launching the car, we also thought of a first edition, which is the one that you test drove today, the hybrid and full electric, which had the intent basically to show which are all the novelties that we are bringing to the model. So for instance, the illuminated front wheel here, the LED matrix headlights, all the technology inside the car and the other features that we introduced in the vehicle. Of course, this car is a very compelling proposition, also in terms of all the features you see. It's almost a fully equipped version. Then back in September, we also started the sales of the Altitude, which, if you remember from the slide before, it's sort of our entry trim. But as you can see, we wanted already to offer something which is very well specified. So we have 19 inches wheels, LED headlights, all the ADAS and technological features. So it's already a trim which is well equipped directly from the start. Also in terms of the packs, I will not go into the details, but just to keep in mind this kind of very lean and straightforward approach. We wanted to make it very easy for the customer and for the salesman. So similar contents for the different trims with the objective to enhance the comfort, or the convenience, the safety, and the premiumness of the car. So also here, very lean, very straightforward. What are the novelties, sort of summary, that we brought compared to what is the previous generation of the car? So first of all, we wanted, as always when we build a Jeep, to be the best in class in its segment in terms of capability. So Marco and Daniele explained you how we achieved that, 360-degree protection, the range which is 100% capable now, and some contents which are standard already in the car. We listen to the customer demands and needs, so we increase space and versatility, more legroom, more headroom, more storage in the front and in the luggage compartment, more versatility with the seats which are for 2040, along with the other features. Then, of course, we wanted this car to be at the state of art in terms of technology. As you see here, we improved the clusters. We have the level 2 autonomous driving, which is standard across the range, and we introduced some of the new features, predictive assist, matrix headlights, or the smartphone access. And of course, the freedom of choice in terms of powertrain that I mentioned before. Now, Fabio started at the beginning saying that we are not like the others. So here I want to also highlight which are the improvements that the team has worked on to make this car, improvements made compared to the platform, so to the donor version. So first off, we wanted this car to be a true Jeep. So the team worked on maximizing the off-road performances, so minimizing the overhangs, working on the off-road angles, improving the ground clearance on the car, so ensuring that you really have a true Jeep behind the wheel. We worked also on making this dedicated all-wheel drive. Marco explained already, dedicated rear motor, improve angles, improve suspension settings, so higher ground clearance. And we introduced also with Compass a new electrical architecture, which brings a lot of new features compared to the previous cars. So, for instance, the one-pedal drive, which I hope you were able to test drive today, battery preconditioning, plug and charge, smartphone access. So it allows really to have a set of features which is completely new for the platform. Then another very important thing, which really I hope you were able to appreciate during the test drive, we worked on optimizing the balance between the handling on road and off-road. So minimizing which are the vertical acceleration and the roll acceleration in order to ensure also in the gravel condition, off-road condition, an optimal comfort during driving. And lastly, one thing which is a sort of example of what we mean by design to function. The platform was having the camera and the radar which were located down, so in a very, let's say, weak position, easy to brake. So we moved up here in the upper part in order to be in a recessed position, so in case of bumps, you don't get it broken. So it's an example of what we mean with design, but also keep in mind the functionality. Now we've seen the range, we've seen the improvements versus Compass, the improvements versus the platform. Now where is Compass playing in the marketplace? So as you can see here, below is the price, here the green line is the volume distribution. So the car is going to play really in the core of the segment. So not in the mainstream part, pure mainstream, not in the premium, but we wanted really to position the car in the place where most of the segment is. And one other important thing to highlight is that despite all of the improvements that have been done on the car, despite the additional standard contents, we were able to place the car in a, let's say, competitive position also compared to the previous generation. So the car is going to be just slightly above the previous one. This is average Europe. It works almost the same for all the markets. So in general, below 40 for the starting price, and the first edition, which is below the previous summit, which is comparable in terms of contents. So we do believe that we were able to find the perfect balance between the product offering and the price positioning in the market. So now moving to the timing, to conclude. First, we already started the sales for the hybrid and for the 500 kilometers, and the deliveries are expected between the end of this year or the beginning of next. While for the rest of the range, so plug-in, 4xe, and the EV long range, we are planning to start the sales also here between the end of this year and beginning of the next, with the deliveries which are expected in the second quarter of next year. So, in short, to conclude, with the new Compass, we really believe that we are able to bring to the market a game-changing proposition, which allows us somehow to stand out from what is the crowd, because we are Jeep, we are not pretenders, and we are very lucky. Thank you.